especially when you source, or we say it's like the Wild West out there. But now, I clear the floor for you, sir.
Yeah, this is a really cool thing. Now understand, I'm gonna also do a presentation of this in the next hour.
Right.
I don't know how long I would wait. Look, there's only 119 of these.
Actually, there are fewer than that.
There are. Well, there's 119 what we started with.
Oh, gotcha.
We sold, I don't know what the quantity sold now is, probably about 26 sold.
Yeah.
So we are under 100 coins available already. And so I'm just presenting this. So here's what's happening. The United States Mint is making a solid palladium coin in reverse proof this year, which they've never done before. They've done palladium. They did the first palladium coin in 2017 that was just a mint state coin. Then they did 2018, which was a proof coin, which is what this coin is that's in the holder, the sample holder. And then the 2019, they're doing reverse proof. They were supposed to release it earlier than what they are. They pushed it back, and the reason is they did not realize the demand on this all of a sudden went crazy. In 2014, they released a special Kennedy $50 that was done in solid gold, and they released it at a coin show. And it caused a problem. There were literal fisticuffs involved with people trying to get in line and get these coins. Because if you could get one of these coins, you could sell it to a coin dealer and literally make $500. So if you're in line, it was worth 500 bucks. Okay, if you're in line, it's worth $500 to be in line. So, I mean, you know, and they only had so many coins. And the US Mint said they would never, ever, ever do that again. Well, they were gonna do this coin at the Long Beach show in California, going up here, and then they've started anticipating what was going on, and they said, yeah, no, we're not gonna do that, okay, because we've been through that one time before, so we're not gonna do that. So this is one of the most eagerly anticipated coins in the history of the United States Mint. They're trying desperately, because of the reflective nature of palladium, with the lights and stuff out there. I mean, that is crazy how beautiful that coin is. So this is a pure 1 ounce of palladium coin. The United States government, the 2017 sold out instantly. As a matter of fact, they produced about 10% of what they could have sold. Last year, they produced about 10% of what they could have sold. And part of that has to do with the fact that this is pure palladium. For those of you that are unfamiliar, palladium is in the platinum family, but it's about 30 times rarer than platinum. As a matter of fact, this year, about 200,000 ounces of palladium will be mined in the world. To put that into perspective, gold this year, they'll mine about 100 million ounces of gold. So 200,000. The palladium in this coin, in the 2019 reverse proof, represents about 15 or 20% of the entire world's supply this year. And because the United States government has done this and taken so much of the palladium out of the market, palladium, I mean, Friday was up, I think it was $65. At one point, it was $85 up during the day. Now, last year, we sold the palladium coin, this proof palladium coin, and I think our price was $39.99.95. That was our original price. I'm matching the price. Here's the problem for us. Palladium, the palladium in this coin has gone up $650 from last year. So the intrinsic value of this coin, literally, I mean, we're starting to approach $2,000 an ounce for palladium. Okay, 2,000. So basically, half the price of this coin is just the melt value of the palladium. Okay, just the melt value of the palladium. Now add in, it's the first reverse proof, high relief palladium coin that the United States government has ever done. It's only the third palladium coin that all the other ones have gone absolutely positively crazy. So I've got some 2018 coins. I have an NGC 2018 early release. This is first day of issue. That one we have on special at $4,199 because palladium has gone so high. When we price this, palladium has gone up $200 since I priced it. I should legitimately be $41.99, and who knows what it's going to do in the next 6 days. You're locking in your price. You're paying $39.99.95. It is a spectacular and amazing opportunity. This, I believe, will sell out in this airing. You and I will sell out the final edition of this 119 pieces. So there's 119 first day of issue pieces that are available exclusively from us right here, right now. We've already sold probably the better part of 29, let's call it. If not, we're getting close to that. So that means there's only 90 pieces that are going to be left. That's it. And then we'll never be able to do the first day of issues again. Already, first day of issues out there are going to be difficult to get. Already, the government's only going to do 30,000 coins. That's rare. Remember that 1995W? That coin in 70, not reverse proof, just a proof eagle, is $30,000. It's got 20 bucks worth of silver in it. Okay, this has got 100 times more metal value, and it's basically a tenth of the price. Understand what your opportunity is for our original issue price. Now, after these 119 coins, then the secondary market will take over. I'm anticipating, you know, $46.99 to $49.99,
okay.
Given the price increase in price of platinum. Who knows? Platinum between now and then could go up another $300, $400, $500 an ounce. Who knows?
Do you want to hear something really scary?
Yes.
They could do 12 flex pays.
Ooh. Oh, my goodness. We don't do that.
I know.
Well, particularly on coins, I mean, that I'm aware of.
VIP financing.
Wow.
If you have an HSN card, there's 12-month VIP financing. You could split this into, for what basically ends up being 12 flex pays, which is insane. That makes it $333 and, you know, some odd change. 30-day return policy. So you're taking a risk by doing this.
We've taken a substantial risk, and at this point, we've bet very poorly at this. When we priced this coin, Palladium has gone up from our pricing, about $100 an ounce from when I priced this. So I'm at least $100 short on this. We'll see how that remains to be seen. If this follows the trajectory of prior platinum coins, so like last year's proof platinum coin, okay, with a very similar mintage. It was sold by the United States government, sold out within, I think it was like 140 seconds. Okay, so a little over 2 minutes. The price of that coin, ungraded and uncertified, went up $1,000 in 24 hours. Okay, that's the uncertified, ungraded, not first day of issue, because it was sold out so incredibly quickly. It sold out so incredibly quickly. And remember, and that coin, Palladium, was half the price that it is today. Half the price that it is today. So I mean, this has a tremendous intrinsic value, an amazing intrinsic value, the numismatic value. Now, when we do the full presentation next hour, I'll talk about Adolf E. Wyman, who designed the Mercury dime. And this is a faithful representation of the American Mercury dime that we're going to have there. We're going to have his reverse design that was done for the 1907 American Architectural Institute medal that he did. That looks amazingly like the Walking Liberty $50 reverse, which he also designed in 1916 as well. I think it is truly spectacular. I think it's just a great opportunity.
I do want to forewarn you, though. I mean, these are going, and they're going actually even much faster than we anticipated. In fact, your original thought in terms of what you sold when you got off the air last night at 2 o'clock in the morning, what, quadrupled by the time you got?
Yeah, I think we sold, because we